Well, welcome to Noel's World of Whiskey, and today what we're going to review is a Cairdeas. This is Laphroaig Cairdeas. Now, I didn't do last year's. I think last year's was the Warehouse series. That was Bourbon, Hogshead, but the year before I think it was PX. So I did the PX, and then it goes way back, and I think it goes back to the port. Was that 2015, 2016? But anyways, I haven't done a lot of them. So this one here is quite unusual. I'm going to read what it says on the label here. It's telling us basically that first we have a new distiller. We've had John Campbell in the past, so that honor of Master Distiller is being passed down to Barry MacAffer, and of course this is his creation, and it's a white port and Madeira, which is an unusual. It's definitely an unusual mix. It's a rare one, and so basically how this works is that the 3/4 of the whiskey is matured in second fill Madeira casks. And then, of course, the final quarter has been finished in first fill port casks, and the majority of these are white port. Majority. So I did a little bit of research on this, and there is a little bit of red port in here, evidently. And I think that's why they're not telling it. That's why they're saying the majority of these are finished in white port. So anyways, what's interesting is them mentioning maturing in Madeira and then finishing in the white port. Now, that sort of gives you the impression that they never even used bourbon, but I don't think that's the case. So really what they should be saying is the first finish there was Madeira, three quarters of it was the second fill. From what it tells me here, so the final finishing was done in the port casks. Now, I also have, and I've read the bottle too, but I also have, I believe, what they say here. I did a little research, and always nice to have about 3 different phones I can play around with. So basically, it says this year's release is marked a change from the classic Laphroaig, and which is usually bourbon. Most of their releases, especially their real smoky releases are bourbon barrels. So this one here is basically 3/4 of the whiskey was bottled in second filled Madeira barrels, and we know what Madeira is. It's a sweet Portuguese wine that it's similar to port. It's fortified, and then the final quart. By the way, that's from the Madeira Islands, if it's true Madeira. And then the final quarter was matured in first filled port. And accordingly, they say it's white port, but they said majority were in white port, and we know that there's a little bit of red port mixed in there. So anyways, and it is, this type of port is a little bit drier than the ruby or the tawny ports. But anyways, there you are. Gives me all the tasting notes. Don't need to read them. We're going to find out what these tasting notes are. So I'm going to give you a look at the bottle here. So there you are. Yes, it has been opened. So I'll get back here so you can see it there. That is the bottle. Not much to see. You know why? Because it's a green bottle. Anyways, and let's get up and we'll take a look at the... There is our tube, which basically gives you all that information on the the maturing and the finish conflict here, which is, I think they could have explained it a little bit better there. And of course the story John Campbell is left, and we have Barry MacAffer now that is running the show with the blending and the distilling blending. Anyways, there you are. By the way, I did have to show the lore here. I was always impressed with the lore, but for the price, no. I got it at a time when it was reasonably priced. It's over the roof today. And of course, I do like their cask 10. I have the quarter and the regular 10. I don't have a lot of Laphroaig left. I drank most of my Laphroaigs with friends, and I've been down to maybe 4 or 5 bottles now, so this is it. So anyways, we poured a dram of this. Here it is. So let's give this the nose. Very light on the smoke. Kind of like a light campfire in the distance. And getting a little bit more of the sweetness here, the lemon, the zestiness. Smell a little bit of the chocolate. And very slight floral mixed in with the medicinal stuff here. But not overpowering the smoke. It's not a, it's not an intense nose that you would normally get from a Laphroaig, but the citrus and I would say some tropical fruits, maybe mangoes, and definitely some floral stuff, and just now a little bit of, oh my golly, it's almost a wee bit of that industrial stuff, that industrial smoke just kind of whiffs through. They're very light. Okay, let's get into the palate. Solange. The smoke is not overpowering. And the alcohol, the 52.3%. It's warming, but it's not intense. First impressions, there's some sweetness, but there is still the tangy zestiness of it. The smoke, again, I'm not getting intense peat here, so very light band-aids, iodine, seaweed, very light, but there's a dryness to it. Like not overly sweet. It's not like the PX or some of the other ports. It's a little bit more drying. Coats the mouth. I'm going to say there's a balance to it, and if you were a peat fan, you're going to Laphroaig for their peaty presentations. This isn't it. I would say the cask 10, cask strength 10 is definitely more intense. This is definitely a lighter peated presentation. But the Madeira, I've had Madeira whiskeys in the past. I am fond of them. I have a Tarkanal, an Irish Tarkanal. It's Madeira, like it, and I have several other whiskeys that are Madeira that I've had good luck with Madeira. White port. I think I got a couple of white port. It's a rare finish, and I don't know if I can distinguish. The mixing port and Madeira, it can be very confusing. So it's just not something commonly done. And to say I'm an expert at being able to differentiate between the Madeira and the port, I think it might take I'm going to have to drink a little bit more of this bottle. But I'm going to do the finish, and we'll see if we have any more development happen here. So much. There's sweeter notes happening now. It was a little on the dry side at first, but just the smoke is not intense. It's lightly balanced. Chocolates there, a little bit of tobacco, and maybe some coffee going on. I'm getting, geez, it shouldn't be, but I'm getting some dark fruit, and I don't know. It's not figs or dates, but I'd say probably dark raisins. It should be. I mean, if the white port is that influential, there shouldn't be a lot of dark fruit in here, but I'm getting something. But definitely spicy. I did get the spice at first. I'm getting the spice now. It's all good stuff. There's nothing here that's really, it's not attacking my palate, and it's not disrupting the drink. Whatever I'm getting seems to be balanced. It's very well balanced. So Laphroaig know what they're doing. These master blenders, they learn from one another as you get a new. This was Barry MacAffer. He's taken over from John Campbell. I'm certain he's got a lot of the old school stuff there. This is a different presentation, though. This is not a traditional. I guess he's going to make a name for himself one way or another. So far, you know what? It's not there, but I don't want to say it's there yet. I'm going to say it's a medium finish at the most. So, yeah, I'm going to say medium finish. Let's give it some water. You're getting these layers as they're arriving. They're not intense. They're light. This is an annual presentation, so it's for the Friends of Laphroaig. Kind of a big deal with some people I know. They look forward to this every year. And because they're constantly experimenting with casks, and it's different every year. My understanding, they even changed the percentage. The last number in the 0.3 or 0.2, 0.1 is supposed to line up with the year, or this is what I understand from the research I did, but with water, the nose. Light band-aids again in the distance. And lots of citrusy stuff going on. No more of the dark fruit stuff going on. Still the floral. A bit of eucalyptus. And those nasal inhalers. Clear your nostrils. A little bit of that. A little nasal inhaler. I don't know if I've used that one before, but that's what I'm getting. So, not as much smoke, more nasal inhaler. The tropical fruit is there, but it's much lighter. It's more citrusy right now. Okay, the palate with water. Well, the smoke has even dissipated more, and when I said light medicinal notes in the distance, this could be you're on a beach and you've got a whiff of the seaweed. Maybe approaching the beach, you get that whiff of the salt air, the seaweed, as you're coming closer to the beach, and you're getting a bit of that taste. But it's not the intense taste that I describe in some of the other Laphroaig reviews or Ardbeg or Lagavulin and that, where you're right there you know, with the fire on the beach, and you're doing up some oysters, or you know, I'm not getting the smoked the smoked pork chops, or the smoked bacon, or the barbecued ribs and all that stuff. I'm not getting any of that stuff. I'm not getting my wheelhouse. I'm not getting the smell of the wheelhouse, my fishing boat. I'm not getting any of that stuff. The Haley Hansen gear and all that stuff. The rubbery stuff that you get sometimes from Laphroaig, and Ardbeg, of course, too. But a lot of the Islay, more intense presentations. And no, you're not getting any of that. So for you that are looking at a real smoky Laphroaig presentation, this isn't going to be the one. Again, I would look at the 10, that for sure. Of course, when we're getting price conscious, Laphroaig is a little bit better priced on some of their stuff than Ardbeg, and then you go to the lore, and well, at least in Canada here, it's outrageous. It's over $200. But some of the Brookladdick presentations are a little bit better, So if you're looking at getting into a smokier presentation, I look at the 10, the Port Charlotte 10. That's I think that's an affordable. Some of their 8-year-old expressions there that are wine. They go into wine casks. They do a lot of interesting things with. I would go to Port Charlotte for value for your money. I think the Ardbeg 10 is still really good value for your money. I think the Laphroaig 10 is. I think the Laphroaig 10 cask strength is good value for your money. If you want to get a nice presentation, that is not intense. It's not intense smoke, and it's going to be different every year. It's going to be something like the Cairdeas. The whole idea behind this is let's play around with some casks. We'll have a little bit of that traditional Laphroaig peat, and let's just see what we come up with, and that's what makes it interesting. Now this one is for me. Okay, cheers. I'm getting the chocolate there. More of a white chocolate. And still a little bit of tobacco, a little bit of spice. This here is about an 87, 86, maybe an 86, somewhere around an 86 maybe, I would say. It's a decent dram. I give an 86, it's a decent dram. Maybe not jumping up and down. It's later in the evening, and I'm a little more reserved, maybe that's why. I think it's a decent dram. This isn't over the top, but it's not a bad dram. Madeira, white port, maybe a little bit of red port. We don't know what, ruby, honey, or whatever. It's okay. They did a good job of it. So I'm going to leave it at that. So I'm going to ask you to drink wisely, drink intelligently, and do not drink and drive. And until the next time, so much.